I would like to welcome each and every one of you to this webinar on Phygital retail, merging online and in-store experience. The webinar will be hosted by myself. I'm Kamal Chandramohan and I'm the head of mobility practice at Aspire Systems. I would also be joined by my colleague Sunil Bajaj. He's the director and unit head of retail and CPG practice at Aspire Systems.
Good morning, everybody.
So let's look at the agenda of today's webinar. So what we'll do is we'll start with trying to understand the digital retail journey. Then we'll briefly look at the current state of Omnichannel and some of the challenges associated with that. Then let's have a detailed look at some of the trends that are shaping up tomorrow's digital retail. And finally, we would like to introduce you to our a solution that Aspire Systems have built that aligns with these different trends that's shaping up. So let's get started. All right, so let's look at how the digital retail has evolved over the years. So in the beginning, we had only physical stores. The size of the stores would have grown, but the nature of the business has been primarily around cash and carry. Then came the e-commerce boom, where the businesses set up online shops and customers could go to their the e-commerce application anytime and browse for product catalogs, look at the details of the product, select the product, select the delivery option, and then make a payment and do a checkout. That's when businesses started feeling that they need to reach out to customers through more than one channel. I mean, currently we are only one channel. We need to customers are moved on. There are customers who this channel doesn't work for them, so we are losing out on some of the business. So they wanted to ensure that their brands are available across every channel. Then what happened was the businesses started realizing that it was not enough for the brands to be available across channels, but customers should be brought to the center of the business. The customer has to be treated like a king. The shopping experience of the customer has to be improved. That's when the focus shifted from the brand to the customer. Now we need to look at what's the next stage of this evolution. So we clearly see an evolution. What's the next stage? We need to find that out. But before we go to that, let's look at what is the state of today's omnichannel experience. So when I look at today's omnichannel experience, I find that retailers focus on three main areas. The first is marketing. So in today's world, where people spend more time on the internet and the social media, the retail businesses are focusing a lot on doing search engine optimization, search engine advertisement, and also on behavioral retargeting across multiple channels. The second area is the customer experience itself. So there has been a recent survey, and the participants were asked on why they preferred e-commerce, and more than 50% of the participants were of the opinion that convenience was the main factor behind choosing e-commerce. They could shop anytime they wanted, they could research a product anytime they wanted, and they could do it at any place they wanted. So it gave them lots of flexibility and convenience. And the interesting thing is, there were options like pricing. There were options like larger assortment of products. But the participants actually chose convenience as the most important factor. And this is precisely why retail businesses have invested heavily in integrating and synchronizing their supply chain to provide customers with flexible fulfillment options like click and collect, reserve and collect, drop ship, same day delivery, so many different options. Also, when a customer engages with a business, with a retail business through multiple channels, customers expect their experience to be consistent. If the experience is not consistent, then the customer would not have a comfortable feeling and it would lead to churn. This is why retail businesses have, they went ahead and made their policies, pricing, brand positioning, they made it consistent across the channels. And if you look at the third focus area, it's payments. Over the years, payment services have evolved considerably. There are new methods, new improved methods of payment, and they have increasingly become more secure. And retail businesses have embraced them, and they have started providing their customers with multiple payment options, new age payment options like Apple Pay, Google Wallet, PayPal, to name a few. Now let's look at the impact of this. Let's look at the effect that the omnichannel, brought to the customers. Well, the results speak for itself. The results definitely suggest that customers have clearly accepted omnichannel. See, take the case of John Lewis, for example. 45% of their online orders are click and pick. Take the case of Laos, another example. 60% of the online orders are click and pick. 30% are sent to the customer from the nearest store. 30% of the orders, online orders, are fulfilled from the nearest store. There are studies that also suggest that customers who took advantage of the omnichannel facility a single channel. So clearly, all data seems to suggest that omnichannel is working and it has made the shopping experience easy for customers. Now, does this come with some challenges? Maybe yes. So I would invite Sunil Bajaj to take us through some of these challenges.
Thanks, Kamal. Yes, so as Kamal has described how the omnichannel has evolved and where it is supposed to go now. But before that, we are looking at the current state of omnichannel and what challenges. Definitely, it's a great thing that has happened in the industry. But saying that it doesn't have any challenge and it's all good, no. There are challenges that are there. For example, giving single view of inventory, having a real-time access of inventory, easier said than done. There are probably 90% accuracy today. Order visibility, again, OMS is a big transformation program. Generally takes about a year to year and a half to actually implement when you are truly implementing solutions like Sterling Commerce and things like that. Now, consistency in customer experience, again, we want to do that. Every retailer wants to do that. Are we training our store associates in the same way as we want, or as the UI of the digital channels are evolving? Probably not so much. So all of this is some retailers, they are there. Some retailers are still trying to figure it out and getting there. So it's a maturity cycle, and that is happening. But we know the concept. At least all of the retailers now know what are the core concepts of omnichannel and how to reach there. So they know about it. But for us, we are also trying to answer a different question. While the model of omnichannel is quite clear, where it is going from here on. In order to answer that question, we first started looking at what are the two areas. One, from a customer experience standpoint, what are the gaps today with the current omnichannel model? And second, what are the technology opportunities that are provided to us, which we can harness for the future? So the first part what we see here today is that store experience. Primarily, when we say omni-channel, digital experience has evolved a lot. All of these advancements that have happened have mainly happened on the digital and mobile channels, but the store experience have not evolved as much because of digital. That's one area. Still, we see that online journey and the store journey of the customer, they are quite independent. When we take the examples of click and pick, click and reserve and pick, or click and return, all of these use cases have very clearly defined boundaries of step 1 being done in one channel and then step 2 being done in store. So still it is consistent to some extent, but not seamless. And digital and store marketing, again, the store marketing has not evolved as much as the digital marketing has evolved. Store incentives and the mutual dependencies of store and digital are still being figured out. And while we know that omnichannel does impact both one over another, but how much it impacts and are there incentives aligned for one to work for another? Again, that's an area, that a gap that we see. Now, on the technology front, on the other hand, now we have IoT, we have big data, we have smartphones that are there in everybody's hand. So there are these technologies that can be harnessed even further to take the omni-channel to the next generation. And what is that next generation? What we think is a phygital retail. Phygital retail, what we mean is it is omni-channel, but omni-channel 2.0. And phygital retail is where the convergence of digital channels and the store channels, brick and mortar store will happen, and it will happen in a very, very seamless way, where how the digital world will influence stores in a way that has not happened so far, and that is what we are believing today that is going to happen tomorrow in next 6 months to a year. Many of the retailers will be doing that, and many of them are already in the early stages. So now, what is digital retail? What are the characteristics of digital retail? We believe there are 4 key trends that are coming out of digital retail. Then I will quickly go over those trends now. One, of course, the seamless movement between online and store. As we talked, that there are step-by-step movement of digital and in-store. How it can be more seamless, we'll have to see that. Personalization, a big trend that is out there and impacting, already started to impact. Self-service, how the digital can be used as an enabler for self-service in the store. And fourth one being how we enable our employees, associates, retail associates to help our digital customers in a much more better way, in the kind of training tools and insights that are needed for them will be different in the near future. So those are the four key trends that we are going to look at today. So the first trend starts from the mobile. Now, as we know that there are 84% of the consumers today use their mobile phones when they are in the store. They use it for different reasons. They use it for researching the product, to compare the prices, or check the reviews and things like that. So they do that. Now, how do we use it? Today, they are not on the retail environment or retailer's environment. Today, they are not, while they are in the physical environment, digitally they are out. How it can be combined together, how the mobile can be used as a glue between digital and the physical world. And that we believe will happen when retailers' mobile apps, which are I'm sorry, which are truly mobile commerce today. It is e-commerce version of a mobile app that most of the retailers have today. But tomorrow's mobile apps will actually be much more contextual. When you come inside the app or inside the store and inside the location, you will find those same apps getting converted, and you will find the apps are much more contextual in a way that it can track where you are. It can move you from your online world to your physical world, which will mean that moving your wish list, moving your cart, moving your history, all of that to the store, and then take the store interest out of store, other way around. So you move seamlessly from outside, from the digital world into the store, using your digital context in the physical store, and then you go back. You again go back with the physical store, whatever experience you had, you go back and you apply it in the digital world. So let's take a simple example here. You have researched for a particular product online. You liked it, you put it in your wish list, you go into the store, you find that, okay, your phone is already telling you that this particular product is available, this is available at this place, it will show you the route, you can go there and find it out. So that's how you are bringing your digital context. Now you are not finding your size, there is some problem over there, you leave and you go out of the store. Again, that context is also taken out in the digital world now, and you are being informed about the same size is available in another store, or the inventory is available in the same store. You can come and pick it up again. So those are the kind of things that we will see in the future. Now I'll move on to the next one, which is personalization. Again, the personalization is a very, very prominent trend today, especially because of the location-based technology being available. And this is the first time in the history where our marketers have truly access to provide real-time messages at the right time, at the right location, to the right customer. It has been the marketer's dream being realized today. They can do personalized promotions based on location. They can do personalized product recommendations. And as we know that the social media has been a big influencer in today's digital consumer's mind, they can even bring all of that all your social media context and profiles and your likings again to your personalization. And while you are in the store, you are being served with all of these contexts put together. Today, another part of I'll just touch upon is that today consumers are being much more open to provide the personalized information, and much more open to, because they know the service that they are going to receive and they expect that service, and they are getting more and more open to the concept of personalization. Then I'll move on to the next one, and I'll let Kamal explain the next two trends that we are experiencing today.
Thank you, Sunil. Okay, so we already saw that customers already use their smartphones for various activities while they're actually doing the shopping. It could be for making payment using Apple Pay or any other digital wallet. It could be for finding product reviews online, or it could be anything else. At the same time, customers also face some challenges, in terms of, when he's shopping at a store, they find it difficult to locate the products that they are looking for. They would try to reach out to a store associate, and store associate is, nowhere to be found. And after all this, let's assume they find the right product that they were looking for. Then they'll have to go to the checkout counter and stand at the back of a very long queue to complete the purchase. So there is definitely, some space for improving customer experience, and definitely we have an option as well here. What if the retailer has a mobile app the retailer provides the customer with a mobile app that can address all of the above concerns or above challenges that the customer is facing. We know customer already uses a smartphone, then why don't we give the customers with the right tool in the form of a mobile app that could help them locate the products that they're looking for in the store, navigate to the right section where this particular product is located, scan the product barcode using the phone's camera, add the product to a cart in the app, and then complete the checkout process using, making a payment using Apple Pay. Just use your fingerprint and complete the payment. So definitely there is space for improvement of customer experience, and a mobile app which can provide self-service can definitely help here. So let's look at the next important trend. There are several studies that reveal that customers like to go to a physical store because they can touch and feel the products before they actually buy it. The second reason is they can talk to a knowledgeable store associate before they make that big decision of making the purchase. But in many cases, we ourselves would have experienced that the store associates were neither knowledgeable about the product nor about the customer itself. Then this is another area of improvement, and this is what we see as another trend. There can be ways where the store associate on his or her handheld device would be notified when a customer enters the store, and the store associate should be able to find out the details of the customer, like the customer's name, the products of interest, like what the customer recently browsed on the e-commerce app or on the e-commerce site. Does the customer has a wish list? Does he have an abandoned cart? Any complaints that has come up in the last couple of months? What are the past transactions? Now all this information, if available to the store associate, would help the store associate to understand the customer better. Now along with that, if the store associate is also able to find out the details of the product or the availability of the stock, so that if the customer has a question about the product, then the store associate can easily find it. Also along with that, if the store associate can also do a checkout, without taking the customer all the way to the checkout counter, if they can do the checkout on the same handheld device, then the store associate can actually be at the aisle along with the customer while making, influencing the customer to make the purchase. Also do a checkout at that point. Again, that would improve the customer experience. So these are some of the areas we think, when it comes to empowering the store associates, there is definitely a chance, definitely a scope for improving customer experience. So we saw some of the trends that are evolving in the phygital space, right? Now, these trends needs to be addressed by some solution, a complete solution that can bridge both the customer's digital and the physical world. And that's exactly why Aspire Systems has built Prius. Prius stands for Phygital Retail In-Store Omnichannel Solution. This is Aspire Systems' solution to bridge the customer's digital and physical world. So let's look at how Prius actually does this. So there is so much of work happening in areas of, beacons, big data analytics, social media, but these are actually happening in silos. How Prius differentiates itself is that Prius brings in all of these, like the beacons, analytics, social media, and merges that with the traditional in-store and the e-commerce systems. So that brings us to the end of the session. Now, let's look at some of the questions. We have received some questions, so let's look at the questions.
Kamal, thanks. I think we are all excited to launch the new solution, and we are happy to meet you all, and excited to see you all there in shop.org. And as for the questions, there are a couple of questions I see. One, what kind of investments that are needed for, especially in the beacons or IoT space that you see? Would you like to take that?
Okay, sure, Sunil. So when it comes to investment, it would actually depend on the nature and type of business, the size of the store itself, the number of stores, and to what detail would you want to implement such a solution. So I would say if you take an average store, I think as such, iBeacon technology is not a very expensive technology. It's actually a very lightweight. It's actually called it works on Bluetooth low energy. That's the technology that they use, and the device comes with a chip and a battery, and typically the battery runs for a couple of years. So it's not a very expensive device. On average, I think it goes around $20 per beacon device. So I think at an average, if you see that it should cost anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 of investment on the iBeacon for one store.
Yeah, so not a lot. Okay, great. Just very quickly, we don't have much time. So the next question is about what kind of maturity that is needed. Do we really need Omnichannel to go into phygital retail? And I can quickly take that and say that not really. Definitely you need multi-channel, and wherever you are, you can pick any of those 4 trends that we talked about, or other versions of those use cases, and it can be started from anywhere. You definitely need to have a multi-channel. You need to have some basic things like a single view of your customer, and then you can start your mobile journey, and it can always be made with the in-store experience. And definitely more the better. I mean, more mature you are in terms of your customer understanding, it will be better, and it will give you the better results in that sense. So I think these were the 2 questions we had, and that brings us to the end of this presentation. And I think we are very happy and excited to launch this solution in shop.org end of September. Please take your time and meet us in shop.org in Dallas. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks a lot.